Most Americans, and even people outside of the United States, are now familiar with the name Derek Chauvin, the police officer recently convicted of the murder of George Floyd. In Chauvin's trial, many prospective jurors had seen video of the incident, unintentionally prejudicing them. Ultimately, the jury was comprised of individuals who said they could be fair and impartial, regardless of their knowledge about the case and any pre-existing attitudes. The process of asking jurors if they can be fair and impartial is known, funny enough, as juror rehabilitation. The expectation is that jurors who say they can be impartial will, in fact, be impartial in rendering a verdict, that is, not influenced by bias. This process is meant to safeguard defendants' constitutional rights to a fair and impartial jury. When I delved into the literature, I noticed that there were significant problems with the practice of juror rehabilitation. Most jurors were saying they could be impartial, and this struck me as inherently problematic. If jurors are feeling pressure to say they can be impartial, this by default means they are not accurately reporting their bias. Through my dissertation, I wanted to examine whether I could lessen some of the pressure to respond in the affirmative and, in turn, increase the accuracy of juror statements of impartiality. My research required several resources: mock judges, Confederate jurors, a mock courtroom, and nearly 500 participants recruited from 35 states, made available through the funding I received from the National Science Foundation. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, my study, much like our court system, transitioned online to Zoom video conferencing after a month of in-person data collection. I presented participants with real, prejudicial news articles about a defendant who had been accused of murdering his wife. Exposure to this type of information, also known as pretrial publicity, is a robust measure of bias because it makes jurors more likely to convict the defendant, which is exactly what I found in my study. And what I also discovered, more importantly, was the majority of my participants said they could be impartial, and said they could be impartial even when they expressed bias during jury selection. That is, jurors admitted to having read news articles about the case, but still said they could be impartial. Even more concerningly, jurors who were biased were just as confident in their ability to be impartial as jurors who were unbiased. My results indicate jurors' expressions of impartiality are meaningless. Using jurors' expressions of impartiality as a metric for evaluating bias precludes defendants' constitutional rights to due process, can undermine the prosecution's ability to prove guilt, and can create additional litigation, thus wasting the court's invaluable time and resources. The court should reconsider the practice of rehabilitating jurors as a means of combating juror bias and explore alternative solutions. My main finding, that jurors cannot accurately report on their biases, has implications for varied social contexts, from the criminal justice system to schools, the workplace, and even our personal relationships. Thank you.